Samantha Jones, this kid rocks. The so-called tolerant and diverse and accepting atheists can't intrude upon the rights of others who want to maintain their right to acknowledge God. I keep hearing these liberals insist that we Christians are trying to force our beliefs onto them. This is the same kind of mindset that believes Ronald McDonald forces people to get diabetes.
I think what's happening. Propaganda.
I really don't have much to say about this because Samantha pretty much said what needed to be said on Fox and Friends. But then there's this dude, the Grinch, out to steal free religious exercise.
You're basically saying, say the pledge and participate in this oath that you don't believe in because of those words under God that were inserted, or don't say the pledge and risk being ostracized and bullied because you don't believe as others believe. That's not a choice government should be putting on my kids.
What a whiny tube of snot. He's like Squidward. Dude, have a Krabby Patty and lighten up. Excuse me. Atheists aren't being ostracized and bullied. Actually, isn't it you atheists using the heavy hand of the state to infringe more and more upon the first right of the First Amendment? I don't recall hearing about people going around suing others to make them say under God in the Pledge of Allegiance, or sue anybody to make them say the Pledge of Allegiance at all. You think it's we Christians trying to force God onto you. You got it backwards. You get to enjoy living in America without having to say the Pledge of Allegiance at all. If you want to get married, you got to say I do. If you want a pizza delivered to you, you have to state your address. If you want to pass the field sobriety test, you have to be able to recite the ABCs and stuff to prove you're not too drunk to drive. The point is that to partake in the enjoyment of things, you may be required to make a statement to the affirmative of such. But when it comes to living in the most blessed nation in the world, you do not have to pledge allegiance to it. Yet you want to deny others the right to acknowledge God. You people are sickly selfish. You can't see that you're intruding on someone else's right by denying them by force of the state to not acknowledge God. The government's job includes protecting our right to acknowledge God if a person chooses to believe. This is not a theocracy. The state is not a church. The state's job includes protecting the freedom to acknowledge a higher power. This is in the First Amendment, listed even before that right to that free speech you liberals love so much, and apparently love it so much that you want to keep it all to yourselves and deny it to everyone else not sharing your worldview. And you have the nerve to call other people greedy. These haters keep trying to insist that the phrase under God was added in 1954. Okay, so what would make you feel better? That we go back to the original? Well, the original was still written by a Christian, Francis Bellamy. You still want to say it? But hey, lucky for you, you don't have to say it anyway. Nobody's forcing you, like how you're trying to force others. Oh, and since you're so hung up on us keeping it original, should we bring back the Bellamy salute that goes along with saying the pledge? That should suit you just fine, since y'all are acting like a bunch of state-happy Nazis. Even Francis Bellamy was a socialist, which I don't mind saying he was confused. But the Bellamy salute predates the Nazi adaptation of the salute, and Congress had the gesture changed to placing the hand over the heart as the Nazi fashion of saluting became a highly recognized signature to him. I'm Alfonso Rachel with ZoNation, and if you don't want to say the pledge or acknowledge God, you don't have to. Just like you haters don't have to keep watching my vids. You don't want to say the pledge or acknowledge God, then sit down, shut up, and don't. But you don't have the right to force others to join you. There's that balance of freedom again that you selfish and godless secularists or so-called humanists just don't understand. Have a Krabby Patty and lighten up. Excuse me.